This show is part of the Miles Offside Podcast Network. Visit twitter.com/milesoffsidepod for more information. And now, on with the show. And welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside Podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nothing. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy from Afar, and with me as always are my co-hosts Chuck Bailey and super producer Ian Stimson.
Hola.
Oh, somebody goes to Spain one time and now he's...
Fucking fluent.
Yeah, gonna be overpronouncing all the names, huh?
I'm a classic Brit. There was no Spanish going on.
You just speak louder.
Yeah, lots of finger gestures.
Dos
cerveza. Dos cerveza, por favor.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, what's Javier Hernandez's nickname?
I can't. I'm not going to do that. I can't do it like you, Oscar.
Oh, come on, old school, lean in.
Chicharito.
Ooh.
That was a tingle. There was
very
a tingle
nice,
there.
Yeah.
A little stirring down there, Chuck.
Yeah, right down the spine. I see what you guys are always saying now.
There you go.
Very nice. Well, we're back. It's summertime, but we're taking a break from our break.
Yeah, we broke from the break. This one's in tribute to all the Napoli fans out there.
No, it's nice for them to win a Europa League, isn't it?
Yeah, win a trophy by proxy, I guess.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel, Oscar?
I'm feeling all right. I mean, it's always nice when you get to keep Arsenal out of the Champions League.
True. That was more important than the trophy for you.
Yeah, I've been saying it all year. I'm not going to change my tune now, and I'll all of a sudden be like, yeah, Europa League's the most important thing. We did it. Campione, campione, ole, ole, ole. Nah, I don't, it's still just the Europa League. But it is really amusing that we kept Arsenal out of the Champions League. I love that.
Oh, dear. Good to know.
So, yeah, as you guys can probably imagine, we are coming back today to bring to you coverage of the big European finals, the Europa League final earlier last week, halfway through last week, and then yesterday, we are recording on Sunday today, the Champions League final. So we're going to be going through those two matches and kind of talk about the results, what it means for England, and the state of the league as a whole, and our sort of place in the global environment of football/soccer.
Nice of you to say our. Feel like you're one of us. Nice one, mate.
Yeah, I genuinely do feel a kinship with the Premier League. It's the soccer that I love the most and watch the most.
It's because MLS is dog shit, isn't it?
Yeah. I had season tickets one time. And that's just because Frank Lampard signed for the New York City team. And I'm like, New York City, plus Frank Lampard? Hell yeah, sign me up. And then I got to a match and I was like, ooh, I know David Villa, Andrea Pirlo, and Frank Lampard are playing right now, but
it does not look like it.
It does not look like it. Pirlo's amazing to watch live, though. Yeah. He would play some fucking passes. But that's neither here nor there. Chelsea defeating Arsenal in the Europa League on Wednesday, was it? Or maybe Thursday? I think it was Wednesday. 4-1. Gentlemen, Chelsea 4, Arsenal 1. We lift the big one, the big trophy that everybody cares about, the Europa League. Did you guys get a chance to watch the match?
Arsenal, not many good.
No, neither were Chelsea, though, for the most part.
No, it wasn't necessarily one of those games where the scoreline tells you the full picture, but Hazard was just good and Giroud was just did Giroud. And, Arsenal was shit.
Yep. The first half was pretty fucking terrible, I think, for everyone involved. And this will be a running theme today as well. It was boring. The first half of the match was really, really, really boring. I don't remember what the XG was at halftime, but I believe it was 0.4 to 0.2 or something.
Negative
XG. Really fucking dog shit, yeah. And then in the second half, Chelsea came out and had a very strong 20 minutes to start the second half. And then just kind of rode it from there. And they were not good defending. But Arsenal weren't good enough to punish him for it. The big storyline from a Chelsea perspective, at least for me, is that it was Hazard's almost certainly last match, and his comments coming afterwards that it was a farewell, it was a goodbye.
Awkward when he's there next season.
Oh, I sure hope so. Well, it's been almost 5 days and we haven't heard anything official from Real Madrid yet, so I'm counting that as a win. Every day that passes by is a little more hope.
I was half expecting some sort of Twitter video announcement on the full-time whistle. Like, them putting out a sort of picture of him in the kit or whatever. He's already done his photo shoots and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just thinking maybe if he nailed the hat-trick in that game, he'd just sprint down to the corner flag, do a knee slide and rip off his Chelsea shirt to reveal a Real Madrid shirt underneath, and that would be how it got announced.
That would have hurt so much. When we were talking earlier in the season and Chelsea were in their slump, I was like, maybe building a team around Eden Hazard was this failed project for the last 7 years, and he doesn't have the sort of heart to play hard every week and blah, 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 blah. And now that it's here, I'm like, please don't go. I'll do anything. I can change. Oh, boy. But if it was going to be Hazard's last match, having it be an excellent performance against Arsenal, who he's always played really well against, grabbing the goal and assist is, a fitting send-off, I would say, for him.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's kind of right. You need to remember what you said at the start, that if it is going the way Chelsea want it to, or Sarri wants it to, or God knows what's going to happen right now, it's just such a weird unknown time now. Like, you may as well just let Hazard go, take the money, try and build something for the future.
Yeah, I don't even mind that they're going to that they didn't appeal the transfer ban and they're going to give youth a chance next year, basically. I didn't think coming out of that match that there would be rumors about Sarri confirming leaving before Hazard. And that has been the talk for the last 48 hours, is that Sarri has already agreed to go to Juventus.
Yeah, that's kind of come out all of a sudden, which is a bit strange. I mean, Juventus, Allegri, they just didn't pick up Allegri's contract again, I think, or they literally just let his contract run out, and now which is a bit weird considering there's no real high-profile managers available. His methods, as I'm sure Oscar will agree, don't really go that well over here. And, in Italy he's still loved and he's got the taste for winning something. And, maybe he wants to go to Juventus and just romp a really easy league and just get to do whatever he wants. Even you must have felt good for him, Oscar, when you saw his happy little face when he finally got a medal.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah, I mean, I don't like him as a coach, and I don't particularly think he has a nice personality from what I can tell, but I don't know him personally, and that's like a touching moment on like a perfectly human level. Like, yeah, his little face, like you said, like he's this old guy who's never won anything, and then he's holding it and he's just like lovingly looking down at his precious.
Yeah. And as Twitter has told us 1 billion and one times since it happened, like 29 years ago, he was a bank manager. Oh.
Yeah. Never get bored of that sort of narrative.
It was a nice moment for him, though. Yeah, I'm on board with that. And if he is going to leave, like, I'm not going to look back fondly on his time as Chelsea manager, but it's better to send him off on a high than a low. Good, best of luck to him and all that.
This is true. And Champions League.
Yeah, us being in the Champions League is great. Him getting to go into the Champions League with Juventus would be good. I think it's been a weird season for Chelsea, but I think it was a fitting end to get a trophy because, that's what we do. We have I forgot what it was, 15 trophies in 16 seasons with Abramovich, something like that. We win trophies. That's really what we do. And to compare that against Arsenal, who are honestly probably as good as we are right now, but they don't seem to be able to lock down the trophies the way we do. It's an interesting parallel to draw. Because on the XG, just to one last time for this season, bring up XG, it was 1.5 to 1.5. And Chelsea had the penalty, but non-penalty was 1.5 to 1.5. So we literally weren't better than them.
Yeah, it was fairly even. It was just, and Iwobi's goal kind of came out of nowhere, but then they just didn't really have a chance.
No, I think it was too little too late.
No, it was a bit incohesive. I mean, the defence, there's still so many problems with the Arsenal defence. And if Aubameyang and Lacazette don't have a good day, Arsenal don't really amount to much, which is kind of the opposite to what we were saying at the start of the season, where they were overperforming all of their numbers everywhere because they were just in great form, both of them.
Is that Arsenal's only area that needs improving, defence?
No, midfield too.
Like, specifically, do they need some sort of attacking midfielder who can create for them, or
like Aaron Ramsey?
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Or Mesut Ozil. Oh wait, no.
Oh no, he's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a YouTuber.
No, they need to decide what the fuck they're doing with Mesut Ozil. Right? Either shit or get off the pot. If you're gonna make him your star, build the team around him, because the team they have now is not built to his strengths. The things that Mesut Ozil does, and he is an elite player at specific things,
Fortnite.
are not the things that they've been asking him to do. No, you could build a team around him. He's good enough to build a team around, but you have to commit to that. And they haven't. And it's been years now. Like, fucking pick. Or don't. Just don't play him. That money is gone. You already agreed to that. So either use him or don't.
Yeah, and no one's going to buy him. That's the problem. They're literally stuck with him unless he runs down the contract. Because no English club is probably going to buy him at this point, and no European club can afford $300,000 a week, or that would pay him. He's not going to he's not going to go back to Real. He's not going to go Juve. Probably not going to go Bayern. He's stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's sunk cost. Like, that's literally the definition of sunk cost. You already paid it. That doesn't mean you have to use it. That money's gone. Make the best decision going forward for yourself.
Blimey. Football clubs just hemorrhage money, don't they? Jeez.
They sure fucking do, yeah. Except for Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, yeah, true.
And that is a perfect transition, gentlemen. The Champions League final yesterday, Liverpool have done the double. Set 97 points, third best team in the Premier League history. And now they go off and they win the Champions League too. I mean, can you believe it?
That famous double.
The famous double. Oh, wait, no, what's this? In my notes, it says that they didn't win the Premier League.
Newsflash. They didn't win the Premier League.
Just came through.
Chuck, this is exactly what you had said would be hilarious and perfect. That Liverpool win the Champions League and City win the league, and both teams are looking at each other jealously.
Yep.
Do you think that is the case, or do you think that Liverpool are just happy to have won the Champions League?
I think Liverpool are just happy to have won something this season.
In isolation, yeah, definitely.
I think that's why everyone went so crazy, because in living memory for a lot of Liverpool fans, they've won the Champions League, so it's not like it's something completely new. I think that kind of massive reaction is kind of a sense of relief that they get something to show for it, because in the league they were incredible this season, and they've beaten some, they had that amazing result against Barcelona and done some amazing performances in the Champions League to get there. But, I mean, I'm not going to say it was the shittest match I've ever seen in my life, but it was probably the most boring and the least enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when Liverpool got an early goal, I thought, right, here we go. Tottenham are going to have to do something now. It's going to be a really open game. There's going to be loads of goals. But Klopp just seemed to surprise everyone by scoring that early goal and then saying, right, let's soak it up.
Surprise Musa Sissoko.
Yeah, certainly, yeah.
I don't know. I don't even think that was what they were playing for. I mean, I think that Mane deliberately tried to hit Sissoko in the arm.
Yeah, absolutely.
But looking at the way they were playing, like, Liverpool was sluggish, they were erratic, there were passes going everywhere. Like, it wasn't Liverpool. I don't think that was tactics. I just think that, it's been like 3 weeks since they played a competitive game. I just think both teams were just fucked, and that's why it was just the complete opposite of what we all thought it would be.
Well, the big talking point too is Harry Kane coming back into the lineup. Lucas Moura scores the hat-trick to get them into the final and then gets dropped. And Harry Kane is like, half injured? And so they're like, of course, it's Harry Kane. You gotta put him in. Half injured Harry Kane is like our fucking thing. They should start printing shirts with that next year. And he didn't look up for it because, I mean, of course, he has no ankle ligaments anymore. He's basically RoboCop at this point. And they were just booting the ball up. They were playing Stoke. I tweeted this. They were playing Stoke-style football. Just booting it, route one, hoping that Harry Kane gets something on it, and it takes a bounce, and then they can score. And it was just, really sad to watch, because Tottenham have better players than that. And, Son went underutilized. Ali and Eriksen looked like they had no fucking clue what was going on. Everything was built for Harry Kane, who wasn't ready. It was bad decision-making. I
think Son was making too many decisions and trying to, beating a few people and going on a decent run, but then always trying to take it
he was
one step too far.
Desperately trying to force the issue, wasn't he?
Yeah, and
I felt for him, to be honest.
Yeah, there were so many first touches that just went awry, and losing control, and even when running through on the goal, heavy touches, and just wasn't fluid, or teeing up shots from 25 yards out and just skying it into the crowd. They couldn't put anything together up the top of the pitch, and Liverpool, for what I watched, because Not going to lie, I did fall asleep during that game, genuinely.
Me too.
At about 55 minutes. Then I woke up and they were presenting a trophy and I went, oh, I'll go to bed.
And evidence of that being that the XG was 1.0 to Tottenham and 0.6 to Liverpool. Like 0.6 to the Champions League winner. I don't have the historical data, but that's got to be way, way, way low. Like, honestly, maybe going back to Chelsea 2012, because I don't know if you guys know, but Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012.
Never heard of it. Never heard of that. No one ever mentions that.
Miles offside bingo there. Tick off Oscar mentioning 2012 Chelsea.
I mean, the scarf is staring at me. It sits right above my desk. So every time I record, I look up for a second and I'm like, oh yeah, we won the Champions League. That's right.
Yeah, and the fact that there's the massive shirt behind you that says Champions of Europe 12.
Yeah, with John Terry and Frank Lampard's autograph, baby. No, but like genuinely, like that, Chelsea probably have one of the lowest winning XGs in the Champions League final. And this is on that, not quite on that same level of like negative, but there was nothing going for either team.
No, that's why. And I think they just couldn't put anything together. And that's why it was so crap.
Not a good advert for the English Premier League.
But then you still look at it and like we still had 3 out of 4 semifinalists. Both the Europa and the Champions League were all English affairs in the final. Like, do we think that that is repeatable next season? Or is that a fluke?
I think there's a lot of things that have to happen for that to be the case, that, you know, you have that kind of dominance of one country. If you look across all of kind of Europe's leagues, you know, Real Madrid are in kind of a bit of a funk at the minute and trying to sort out loads of things with managerial changes. You know, they had 3 managerial changes this year and then went back to the guy they fired basically at the start of the year. Barcelona have got a few issues with trying to not just rely on Messi. Bayern, you know, they of course they won the Bundesliga, but they didn't do their usual thing and win it at an absolute canter. Dortmund could have won it on the last day.
Did it go down to the last day?
Yeah, they could have won it on the last day, and then Bayern won like 5-1.
Okay.
So Bayern and Dortmund won, and then that meant Bayern won the league by 2 points, I think. Juve stroll through the league, but you know they've still got a slightly more aging team and dealing with new ins. PSG, just perennial bottle jobs in the Champions League. So there's a lot of kind of rebuilding going around with all the top clubs that you wonder if it could happen again. It could be next year, but with Chelsea not being able to strengthen, I wouldn't really look to them. Liverpool and Man City, there's no reason that both of them can't get to the semi-finals, at least, really. You could easily argue that to be in the top 4 in Europe.
And I think United could, if they make the right moves this summer, push themselves up to that level. You know,
what, like change competition from the Europa League to the Champions League? Because they're not in it either.
Yeah, but, you know, they could still get to an elite level, push City and Liverpool in the league, I think. I don't think either of those two teams are going to be significantly worse next year, and there might be a third that can jump up.
It's not United.
Our friend Jack on Twitter, I think this morning or maybe yesterday, was saying that he's a Tottenham fan. And he was saying that it's frustrating to watch Liverpool a couple of seasons ago have not that entirely dissimilar from a season that Tottenham just had, but realize that they needed to push and grow and invest. And they went out and they got Alisson and they got Van Dijk. And then look what happened. They made 2 Champions League finals in a row. They won one of them. Mm-hmm. They had, you know, we joke, but they had the 3rd best Premier League season of all time, even though they didn't get the trophy. Like, that's a direct result from their investment. And then you look at Tottenham, who haven't invested, Chelsea, who can't invest, Arsenal, who don't seem to have any sort of vision. And, like, you know, we've talked about this. Like, that is the difference. Do we think that City and Liverpool, I think we can all pretty much agree, are going to stay at that level? Or do either of you think that they're going to fall off significantly?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. But looking at the other 4 in England, like, is this the end of an era for Tottenham, for example, let's say?
I think it's whether everything that's happened under Pochettino has just built up to this moment, or, like Jack says, happened with Liverpool, that they look at it and go, right, we need to do this now. We need to take it further and take it to the next step, because otherwise they can just kind of slowly drift down. Because you can see the fatigue that's running in, the injuries. They don't have a deep squad. They need to kind of strengthen that if they want to go, because there's no point having this amazing, beautiful, incredible stadium if eventually they're not going to have Champions League football because they're not performing well enough in either the league or in European tournaments.
Surely they have to realise that and spend money. I mean, it's no secret that they haven't spent money in, 2 windows or 3 windows or whatever. I mean, surely they know they've got to spend money to kick on, because Man United aren't going to accept where they are. They're going to spend money.
Yeah, but do you think they'll spend it on the right people, or?
Well, yeah, who knows? But I mean,
because they've spent a lot of money over the last few years, like 700 million or something stupid.
I don't think United are that far off of an excellent squad. Like, Liverpool were missing 1 or 2 pieces. I think United are missing 1 or 2 pieces.
A team and a manager.
Specifically, yes. But it does feel like crunch time. It feels like crunch time for Harry Kane.
His ankle crunching, yes.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, they've really got to. And they must know that, surely. And unless they've got themselves into... I mean, we've talked about how much money they've spent on the stadium, but, I mean, hopefully that would start generating proper money. Surely they've got the vision that they know they've got to spend money, and they know they've got to start more than spending money, paying wages.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is for all 3 of the London teams, really. It's a matter of, like, blowing up their structure and kind of starting over. For Chelsea, they don't have any choice. With a coach, like, is it going to be Lampard next year? Is Sarri actually staying? We don't know. We can't buy anyone anyway. Like, there's way too much going on in Chelsea to be able to, like, make any sort of accurate prediction about the future. But I think with Tottenham and Arsenal, like, they also need to be taking a very long look at themselves this offseason. And Tottenham, that sounds crazy for Tottenham because they got more points than I think they've had all but once ever in the Premier League, something like that. And they made a Champions League final. But they feel like they're on the precipice. And if they don't make the right choices right now, you may have already lost Harry Kane's prime. Eriksen is aging. And those other guys might want out. Like, I don't know that Tottenham will be able to push anywhere near to this level next year.
Yeah, especially if, something happens with Pochettino and he goes somewhere else and they decide, if he gets offered a bigger job somewhere, would he really be able to turn it down? Because, like you said, it's got to be at this point, he'll turn around to Levy and go, right, I need to invest now. Like, he was happy a couple of seasons ago, and that's, one of the external reasons given as to why they didn't sign anyone was because he thought his squad was good enough.
Right.
But that's not how it's going. It's not how it's going to go now. Especially if Newcastle get bought out.
God, yeah, you could have a serious big financial player.
All of a sudden then we get Newcastle shoot up by about 400 million quid's worth of players, get done for FFP.
Yeah, immediately, yeah.
Relegated to the conference, and yeah.
Well, Stimmers, do we have any listener stuff to get to?
Yeah, we got one question from Johnny Werthers, which fair warning here, although I think enough time has passed, Avengers Endgame spoiler. So if you want to skip ahead a few minutes, then... Do
you want to skip ahead a few minutes then? Because you still haven't seen it.
Yeah, for that movie that came out 8 weeks ago?
Yeah, look, but that's fair enough, and there's obviously the spoiler moratorium has passed. But he knew I hadn't watched it, and he still sends me directly a question with an Endgame spoiler in it. But whatever. So he put, question for Oscar, what's more upsetting, Game of Thrones finishing, Iron Man dying, or Hazard leaving Chelsea?
Wow, okay.
What's more upsetting?
That is rude. I'm trying to have a nice summer, thank you very much. Honestly, the way Thrones ended is the most upsetting of those 3. Tony's death was a fair and fitting send-off to a decade's worth of emotional investment and story, and so it was sad, but he went at peace, and I won't talk too much about it because obviously Ian still hasn't seen the movie, but that was sad, but it felt right, so I'm okay with that. Hazard hasn't left yet, so that doesn't count.
That's not happened yet.
Denial is the first stage, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. No, Thrones ending is really disappointing, and if Hazard leaves, he went out, scoring on Arsenal and having a great performance in a cup final. And I can't be mad for 7 beautiful years with the cheeky little Hazard Belgian. Like, you know. Definitely Thrones. What about you, though, Chuck?
Yeah, I'm really beat up that Hazard is leaving Chelsea.
Well, just fill in Zaha, and you know,
Oof.
change the question for that.
I think it would upset me more if he went to a club that I thought was shit, or like that wasn't like a big leap, or like something that he's, you know, the reasons he said to do Champions League football, but not just Champions League, to be making like deep runs or something like that. You know, if he went to like Leicester, I'd be fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
But if he, you know, if Liverpool bought him, or I don't know, if he did go to like Dortmund or Bayern or someone
Juventus.
like that, Juventus, yeah, I couldn't really complain about that too much. Game of Thrones ending, I wasn't invested in it for as many years as you, so...
Yeah, but 2 weeks or so, right? That's how long you were invested for it?
Blasted it before, yeah.
12 days, yeah, watched it all in 12 days. No, because I started watching it just about when season 7 finished, I think is when I started watching Game of Thrones.
Amazing, you managed to get through that amount of time without watching it.
And no spoilers as well. The only thing that I knew about beforehand was Hodor, and that was it.
It's crazy.
Well, and Dumbledore dies at the end of season 6.
Dumbledore, yes, and they do get the ring to Mordor.
I remember a couple of weeks after that Hold the Door episode at my work, someone had put a Hodor sticker over the lift, like, door open like button, which I just thought was a really nice little touch. Yeah, hold the door.
They sell Hodor doorstops online too, which is honestly kind of rude, but you know.
But oh man, Tony Stark dying. I was crying both times, like a little girl in the cinema. Fuck.
I haven't cried that much at the theaters, speaking of Harry Potter, since Dobby's death scene. It was like, so nice to be among friends. I'm like, oh my god, Dobby, what are you doing to me, man? Yeah, Tony's death scene is fucking brutal. God, Ian, when are you gonna go see Endgame, man? I can't, like...
It's really bothering you, isn't it?
It's really bothering me.
I'm sorry,
Chuck, just make him go with you. Like, just go, show up at his house and be like, all right, come on. Throw a bag over his head, put him in a white van, and take him to the movie theater.
I don't know. I might have to wait till it comes on Sky. I don't know.
Ugh. It's worth... You, of all people who appreciate sound, need to go see this in IMAX, or at least a theater. Like, watching that shit at home? Come on.
It's so offensive to you, isn't it?
It is. Go to fucking IMAX.
I'm in Peterborough. Where's my nearest IMAX? It's probably fucking London.
Yeah, well, you work in London. It's fine.
Yeah, if only you had a way to get there.
If only I worked Monday to Friday in London. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. I nearly went to see Rocket Man instead.
Yeah, and I told you I'd never fucking speak to you again if you went to see an Elton John biopic instead of the best film ever.
I didn't go see either, though, in the end, so it's fine. But
I saw both, and they're both really good. Just in
have you seen
ways.
Rocket Man? Is it good, is it?
Yeah, of course. We saw it yesterday.
Does he go in a rocket, or...?
It's no spoilers. He is the rocket, Charles. He is the rocket. We have this thing, actually, that lets us go to the movies pretty much every weekend.
Money.
For $17 a month.
Yeah. Keep rubbing it in that you don't have kids, so you've just got all this disposable income.
Well, we go Friday right after work. Like Friday, our Friday movie night is like our thing. And then sometimes other times on the weekends too. If there's 2 movies out. Like right now I'm trying to be like, oh, maybe after we finish recording, maybe we'll go see Godzilla. Which has horrible reviews.
I don't give a shit. I want to go see that film.
I want to go see it. Yeah, it'd be fun.
The fact they're finally making like a Toho film, but like Western, and they're doing all like Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra. Yeah.
Drink that shit up.
Yeah, and then a man in the Godzilla suit later on. Just fuck because they ran out of money on the CGI.
It's actually John Terry in full Godzilla kit.
Yeah.
People get angry about... Well, whatever, I don't want to talk about it. It's fine.
No, go on. Go.
Yeah.
Go on. People still get angry about...
John Terry with the full kit, celebrating. That's in the bylaws.
When he got changed to come on the pitch.
That wasn't his decision. That's one of the rules.
Yeah, because you never see someone on a pitch in a suit.
For him to lift the trophy as the captain, he needed to be in kit. That is one of the rules of, for whatever reason, or at least it was in 2012, I don't know if it still is anymore, the Champions League. And he's the captain.
These two things can both be true at the same time, that is a law or whatever, and he had to do that. And it's also funny to take the piss out of John Terry. So these two things can happen at the same time. It's fine.
I'm just glad that we didn't start this podcast until after John Terry and Didier Drogba and Frank Lampard were all gone from the team, because I will not stand for any ill speaking of those three gentlemen and Petr Cech. And it wouldn't have worked. It just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. 3 out of 4 of those I can deal with.
Wow, you don't like Petr Cech?
Agent Cech.
Oh, he had a good game, despite Chelsea sort of putting 4 in there.
I thought he was all right as well, actually. Like, some of the saves he made were ridiculous. Especially, like, you know, his reactions aren't going to be... He's not at his peak, you know. He's, 38?
Hold on, I'm looking him up right now. He is born in 1982. Wow, he's really fucking old.
37.
Yeah, he's 37.
When were you born, Ian?
84.
That's all right. So you're not really fucking old. You're just really old.
Yeah, all right, okay, yeah.
Really old. And he came to Chelsea in 2004. So, yeah.
Blimey.
Fuck me, that's 15 years ago.
That's insane.
That's crazy. So, yeah, no, he's been great. And he did a good job, I thought, considering... And it's strange that you think a goalkeeper could come out with some credit when they're on the wrong side of a 4-1.
Well, and it was interesting to watch him get scored on by Giroud in a cup final.
And you predicted it before. You predicted him to save a penalty or have to have a penalty taken against him.
Yeah, I didn't want it to get scored, though, especially when we were already winning, although it was Hazard's goal. That was confusing.
The whole thing was very confusing.
Very confusing day. Yeah.
It's like, this guy plays for my team, but is going to be gone soon, and this guy used to play for my team, and I like him, but he's playing for a team that I hate.
This is why Oscar likes half and half scarves.
Yeah, exactly. I saw someone joke on Twitter, I think it was Brooks Peck, who used to run the Dirty Tackle blog, that if the match was undecided, it wasn't going to go to penalty kicks. They were just going to blindfold Sex Fabregas and call him from different ends of the pitch and see who he went to first.
Oh, that's brilliant.
When did he leave Chelsea? In January?
Yeah, this year.
Because didn't he technically qualify for a medal?
Yeah, he did.
Now, if he'd have changed kit and gone to pick up a medal,
Fantastic.
that would have been...
When he plays for Monaco and was also doing in the studio for that game.
Yeah, just takes his mic off, gets a kit
Sorry,
on.
guys, I've got to go to get my medal.
And that's nice because either way he would have gone up for the trophy celebration, whether it was Chelsea or Arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't think Arsenal that would have flown.
Do you think that he... Okay, since neither of you are Chelsea or Arsenal fans...
Correct.
Do you view him more as an Arsenal player or as a Chelsea player?
Barcelona.
Arsenal.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
For me, it felt like his best years were with Arsenal. He was it felt like he was more talismanic in the Arsenal team than he ever was in the Chelsea team.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, that's true. He was the beating heart of Arsenal when he was there. Although he certainly got more trophies with Chelsea.
Probably got more with Barcelona.
Yeah. But yeah, if you were to ask me which shirt I picture him in all the time, it would be Arsenal. I don't picture him a lot, just saying.
With that terrible, terrible, wet, pointy haircut that he used to have?
In an O2 shirt.
Yeah, oh wow, that's the old days, man. Join us next week as we reminisce about early 2000s football and the way it used to be.
And sponsors.
Now I know why all those commentators are like, proper football in the 80s. They used to break legs. That was my day.
And we're reminiscing about a mobile phone sponsor on Arsenal shirt, yeah.
And too much gel.
Oh dear, maybe the game has gone soft.
Yeah. You're no longer allowed to smoke at the football because of, the smoking ban and all that kind of stuff. It's just that if a naked flame got too close to the pitch, all of their heads would just fucking go up.
Yeah.
All that Brill cream. Fuck.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I will say, it was bittersweet to watch Chelsea win the Europa League without Ruben getting to be there. He was one of the better players for the team and one of the driving forces that got them to the final. But my friend and a different friend from you, Ian, was in Madrid this past week, and he saw him partying at the same hotel.
Oh, really?
So Ruben was in Madrid watching the Champions League final while Chelsea were in whatever fucking place that the Europa League final was held in.
Baku.
But that reminds me, Ian, how was your trip to Madrid?
Yeah, it was good. So, I mean, months ago now, I booked sort of 4 days in Madrid. So we were there the Tuesday to the Friday. So there was brief consideration of sort of staying on, but there would have been no chance of getting tickets, and return flights would have been ridiculously expensive at that time. But yeah, just getting up to Thursday and Friday, just more Scousers were invading Madrid. And that accent just started pervading Madrid. But some of it was grim because, you know, there's loads of lovely little squares around Madrid where you can sort of plonk yourself down and just have some wines, some beers, and just watch the world go by. All ruined by fan zones. They were just putting up fan zones in every square around Madrid, ruining all the views and stuff. It was fucking horrible. So yeah, that did slightly ruin some of it for me. There were half and half scarves on sale everywhere.
Did you buy one?
No, took some pictures, didn't buy one. Not going to spend money on that.
Shit.
Lots of terrible merchandise on sale.
Well, when you say considered staying, do you mean you sat there and daydreamed about it, and then Kelly was like, all right, you idiot, come on.
Well, that would have been it. Yeah,
he realised it would have cost him about 10 grand.
Yeah, exactly. The stories about how much people were spending for tickets. And like I say, but towards the Friday when you were going around like the main squares, some of which had like fan zones in, like I say, and there's just that's when you heard British voices shouting out, going, "But I'll buy any tickets, buy any tickets." Like, there are no tickets, mate. Like, it's not happening. 80%,
just walking around.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously they're probably just touts, but there was talk of like thousands of pounds changing hands for tickets. I'm sort of glad I left as the influx of football fans really started. But I'm not surprised the game was a bit sluggish because fuck me, it was hot out there. And like it peaks around sort of 5-6 o'clock. So the game kicked off local time 9 o'clock. It was still 30 plus in the stadium.
Wow.
And the teams are like 3 weeks out of having played any football, which might, you know, I'm not surprised it was sluggish. Basically, it was very hot out there.
What was the temperature so I can translate that for myself and our American fans?
So what is it? It was about sort of 31, 32 degrees most days Celsius. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
It was quite cloudy and overcast as well, wasn't it? So it was like, apparently it was really, really humid in the stadium.
Was it on the Saturday?
Yeah. I mean, you can tell by Mo Salah's hair. If you look at Mo Salah's hair at the start, normally it's quite free and wavy, but the humidity had just fucked him.
Because like Tuesday to Friday, we did not see a cloud the whole time. So even though it was hot, it actually wasn't too humid. It was all right. But I could imagine in the stadium, it was really grim. And if you're saying it was cloudy on the Saturday, yeah, it probably was even worse.
Well, 32 is 90 Fahrenheit, so that is pretty hot. Like that's definitely a day to bust out shorts.
Yeah, even I was in shorts for most of the trip, and my legs don't come out in this country unless it's 28 plus. Although Chuck told me before we started recording about linen trousers being the key in hot weather, I need to get involved.
Oh, linen trousers.
Yeah.
Oof.
I have to note that you are significantly more fashionable than I've ever seen you before for this particular recording. Yeah, just got back from Madrid, drinking a beer, have a nice button-down shirt that's only buttoned about halfway up.
Yeah, sure.
Really, Phil Collins in his vacation mode.
You did so well until then, and now I feel sad again.
Good, that's how we like you.
But yeah, lovely trip, thank you. And I should try and do that most years, just book the few days before a Champions League final, soak up the atmosphere, but then fuck off before most of the idiots come.
Yeah, and just hope it's not all English again.
Well, yeah,
or if it's in Azerbaijan.
Do you know what? I didn't see one Tottenham fan. Like on the Friday, I saw loads of Scousers.
It did see one thing I noticed the game when the teams came out, because obviously they did the build up for hours. When it showed the teams coming out to warm up, when the Liverpool team came out, the noise was huge, like massive. But the Tottenham team came out and there was pretty much nothing.
Yeah,
and all you could kind of hear was boos.
I mean, yeah, based on my very sort of just anecdotal evidence, if there were any tickets going spare, I think they would have been hoovered up by Liverpool fans, because that's all I saw on the Friday. I didn't see any Tottenham fans at all.
Well, Tottenham have so many less international fans than Liverpool do.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And I don't, like, when your Champions League final is that far away, I don't think it's mostly, like, local fans. It's people who can get to Madrid. Like, certainly that's what all the... This is a completely different case, because Madrid is a very different city from wherever the fuck Chelsea were playing the Europa League final.
Quite, yeah.
But all the stuff on social media was like, oh, there was only 7 of us who, like, have season tickets, but we got to meet a lot of international fans, and that was nice. Kind of vibe. So I'd imagine that that's like the same vibe, is that, you know, the people who get the tickets to your Champions League finals aren't, you know, the brother and sister who are, you know, co-season ticket holders at Liverpool.
Yeah, of course.
And are also married and bring their 3 kids along.
Brother and sister are married in Liverpool. Interesting.
Yeah.
Headline.
Yeah, although my next trip I've been planning non-stop for the last 3 days is to Star Wars Land in California, because...
Didn't it open in Florida as well?
The one in Florida is opening at the end of August.
Okay.
But the one in Los Angeles just opened on Friday. If you listen to the special edition Nerdy Newsstand, Charlie, then you would know all of this information. But I guess you're not a Patreon subscriber.
I don't pay for it.
Where Oscar meant to do 10 minutes and did about 28.
Yeah, that was fun. I was like, oh, I'll tell people about the restaurants and the ride.
I was going to say, at one point, I was listening to it going, is he really? Yeah, he's talking about the restaurants that are in there and what food they're going to be serving.
I've been on YouTube just watching videos of reviews and walkthroughs and guides, and I'm like, I want to go to there.
That is great. Patreon.com/milesoffsidepod for all of our extra content.
Well, mostly my extra content.
Yeah, you're the one doing it at the minute, I must admit. FPL's not happening, so...
You didn't even give us, like, a retrospective on your season. I was so ready to hear you say, like, oh, these were the things I did well, these were the things I did poorly. And then you were just like, I don't want to talk about FPL.
I'll probably cover that in a pre-season one, I suppose. I'll look back on it with a more balanced and less angry view, I think.
Things you did well. You remembered your password.
Yay!
You played your chips.
Yeah, did all that.
Poorly.
Then I'd go on for 28 minutes.
Yeah, then you would go on for 28 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for Chuck's rant of rage about the Lost Season 4 finale or whatever you're up to.
Yeah, I am almost at the finale of Lost Season 4, actually.
Are you really watching Lost?
Yeah. I started watching it after Oscar was so emphatically talking about how amazing. I was like, I guess I'll watch it. Because I was trying to work out from watching it where I remember.
Right.
And it's somewhere up until the first time, like, the smoke monster appears. And I kind of went, nah. I never watched it again. But now I'm towards the is it a 3-part finale for season 4?
No, it's a 2-part finale, but then the episode before that is also kind of a finale, but not technically part of the finale.
God, you remember it better than I do.
So season 4, episode 21 and 22 would be Through the Looking Glass. But episode 20 would be Greatest Hits?
No, that's season 3.
No, Through the Looking Glass was... Oh.
I'm way past that.
Yeah,
This is when the seasons are shorter. So 3 was like the really fucking long one that was boring as shit.
Yeah, the writer's strike happened in the middle of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was just a bit of a slog to get through. But 4's a bit better, but it's getting kind of time travel-y.
Season 5 is the best season of TV that's ever been.
When I've listened back to our Game of Thrones thing and we sort of briefly touch and skirt around an argument that me and Oscar might be having about Lost, like, I realise that it sounds like I'm really upset with the ending. And I'm not, like, upset with the ending of Lost per se. Like, I don't mind, and I won't spoil it for you, chap, I don't mind the concept of the ending. I mind all the like loose ends that weren't really explained, like stuff that happens during the series that's just sort of left hanging. And I don't need everything explained for me. I'm not one of these people that needs absolutely everything tied up in a bow, but there was just too much. I don't mind the concept, but it was too much. But if Chuck's watching it, we can't go any further, I guess.
No, we're going to have to come back to it when he finishes, though. Chuck was like, oh, wait, is there potential controversy and conflict here? Let me jump right in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the only reason he's watching, really, because he's spoiling for a fight.
I can smell it. I can smell it coming, yeah. something that Oscar believes so passionately in and loves so much. I was like, well, I can find a way to fuck that up.
Fuck you. That is exactly how that shit goes. Like, you pretend that you don't like Star Wars as much as you like Star Wars just because you know it'll piss me off. You're like, oh, Star Wars is overrated.
No,
but then meanwhile, you know as much as I do.
It's not that I don't like Star Wars. It's not that I don't like Star Wars. I think Star Wars is good. However, it is the most overrated franchise of all time.
Okay, put a pin in it.
And also, episode 7 and episode 8, fucking shit. Especially 8. So bad.
We can definitely talk about that some other day. Maybe I'll have to have you as a guest on the Nerdy Nerd Chronicles, available now from the Miles Offside podcast family.
Ding!
There it is. All right, well, on that note, I think that is a good place to cut it off before we just rant for the next 2 hours, because I miss you guys and I like recording with you, but I do have things to do, and Ian has to go to sleep because it's like 10 o'clock over there.
Bedtime now.
So thank you for joining us. We will see you again probably in a couple of weeks. No definite promises there, but we'll do something around midsummer, probably around the Women's World Cup, maybe.
Keep an eye on the Twitters. We'll let you know. Keep an eye on the Twitters.
For sure, keep an eye on the tweets. And in the meantime, if you want to consume my voice more, you know where to find me. At Footy From Afar on Twitter and on other podcasts of this same persuasion. But hopefully we'll be seeing you soon on this specific feed. Chuck, any farewell words?
Thanks to all the Napoli fans, I guess.
Ian, any parting words?
Adios.
Adios. Bye.